This is my crash course 101 on how to begin meditating every day. So first things first, meditation is a discipline, and like any discipline, it's going to be some hard work at first. But that doesn't mean that once you start, it won't get easier. There's many different types of meditations. Meditations for visualizations, meditations for affirmations, meditations when you focus only on the breath, meditations when you focus on emptiness. While all these are good, I recommend starting out with the Shamata meditation practice, which in Pali means concentration. The goal with this practice is to develop a very strong concentration of one's breath. And in doing so, one becomes very collected and at peace. This type of meditation practice is actually pretty easy to begin with. However, the benefits are so much more powerful than you would think, because pretty much what you're doing is practicing watching your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Focus on the breath, and when a thought comes into your mind, you observe it from afar and say, that's just a thought, and you realize and come back to your breath. The benefit of doing this again and again and again, over and over and over, is you're literally practicing watching your thoughts. So when in daily life something unpleasant happens, instead of identifying with it, becoming entangled with it, and genuinely running with this negative feeling, you can just hold space for that moment, hold space for your emotions, and then let it pass. The result of this is like a way more peaceful life, just so much more enjoyable, less stress, less anxiety. I could go on and on, but let's get into the actual practice, shall we? Because I've been talking for a while now. First things first, you're going to want to find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed, but you will also be able to stay comfortable for quite some time. You're going to want to sit in an upright seated position where you are awake and alert. I like to do the half lotus, and then I'll place my right hand on top of my left, or hands on the knees, hands facing up. It really doesn't matter where your hands go as long as you are comfortable, awake, and alert. Some teachers like to say that you can lay down. I don't really recommend it because you'll probably end up getting tired and sleepy and in turn lose focus of this concentration practice. Once you're finally in your half lotus position or whatever seated comfortable position you find, make sure there's no outside noise, make sure no one's going to disturb you, and begin to focus on the breath. You're going to just follow it. Let the breath lead you in and out. And as soon as a thought, feeling, or sensation arises and takes over your mental headspace, just allow it to be, allow it to pass like a balloon in the wind, and then come back to the breath. If you've made it this far in the video, that's great, because now I'm going to give you some bonus tips. Number one, have a glass of water or a bottle of water next to you. I find during my practice, sometimes I get thirsty. Number two, don't be afraid to explore different types of meditations. I recommend the Shamata meditation practice because that's what's really worked for me. But with whatever one you decide to go with, try sticking with it for some time. Jumping between different meditation practices can actually hinder your development. It's important to stick with something for at least a couple weeks. Then, if you feel like moving on to a different type of practice, that's totally fine. And the last tip I want to give you, and probably the most important, is meditation isn't about forcing or trying to do anything. If you find yourself thinking and you say, oh, I'm supposed to be meditating, instead of forcing yourself to focus back on the breath, just allow the thought to pass and accept the situation as it is. Because ultimately, that's what it's all about. Overall, be kind to yourself during the practice. Hold compassion and space for those moments. And furthermore, for all moments in life. I hope this was beneficial to you. If you have any questions, let me know. And I hope you keep up with my future videos. Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu.